A Villain in Venice, Jane of the Air, Book 1. A steampunk detective and aviatrix and part-time spy. Available now. All profits to the NHS.
Scanning for audio.
Welcome to a Tin Dog podcast. This time not talking about Doctor Who, but talking about Timeslip from Big Finish. This is Volume 1, Timeslip, Volume 1, The Age of the Death Lottery, written by Andrew Smith, starring Spencer Banks and Cheryl Burfield. Now, I didn't know anything about this. It was one of those things on VHS that other people seem to have on their shelves, and I never quite got round to borrowing. Yes, it looked exciting. It had the word time involved, and I'm sure there was something about Nazis involved in that, but that was all I really knew. It probably had some sort of time travel in it, and I believe there was approximately 26 episodes made. It was a 70s thing, and you know what? I kind of thought I'll get round to it after I've watched the Tomorrow People. But I never did quite get round to it. So this audio adaptation or continuation is something I'm just not familiar with. And that's why I wasn't able to come to this release with any baggage at all. That was it. That was all I knew. So perhaps I am kind of not the target audience as such. Or perhaps I am the sort of person who'll give this a go, regardless of whether he knows the original or not. But of course it's Big Finish. They're going to continue the themes, the way it's structured, everything. And, of course, this one's got a special guest star. This one's got Sarah Sutton in it. I know, Sarah Sutton. So, let's have a look at the synopsis. Decades after their childhood experience passing through the mysterious time barrier that could transmit people into the past and the future, two adults, Simon Randall and Liz Skinner, encounter two youths from the 1980s, Neil and Jade, and realise the barrier is open again. Following them through the barrier in search of a missing friend, they find themselves many years into the future when an overpopulation has brought the Earth to its knees. So a radical reform has been undertaken, a mass culling of parts of the population, known as the Death Lottery. Not everyone supports the idea. Rebels, known as refusers, battle the governments and the sinister Enforcement Bureau, and Liz discover that her old friend Charlotte may be responsible for the whole thing. It's a 6-episode epic, and I use the word epic properly, in its sense of it goes on, it's got twists and turns, it's got fantastic pacing, truly marvellously structured. Sarah Sutton is allowed to play, well, two aspects of herself, and someone who definitely isn't Nyssa. And it genuinely feels like a continuation of an old series. There's enough of the old series referred to, and referenced, and explained, in order to make you go, oh, I must get round to watching those at some point, but not give away plots. But you don't need any of that. You know that there's some sort of mysterious barrier. You know that they can time travel. You know that it's timey-wimey. But you also know that there's no Time Lord to turn up to sort things out. People are just going to do their best. I suppose the closest it could be described as would be an English time tunnel. But then again, not really, because the time tunnel just went into the past, as far as I'm aware. I don't think they went into the future. And there's alternatives, parallels, different tracks of time. The time travel theory is completely solid here, and that is a testimony to the writing. Very, very good. And of course, the death lottery, as scary as it sounds, makes sense. Because overpopulation is absolutely terrifying. And how we sort it, well, I can't see that going well either. The idea of the 2 new children to replace the original children who are now adults makes total sense, and it makes everything fit together perfectly. So, not only am I excited for Volume 2, which deals with, well, something that's referenced here, I love what they've done with the future that may or may not happen, but I'm also tempted to go back and experience the VHS/DVD/ is it even on BritBox? I just don't know. Not that I've got BritBox. I haven't got money to burn, have I? So, with that, here's the trailer. Decide for yourself and enjoy it, because if you're after something a little bit different, but more of the same, then this is probably for you. So until next time, be seeing you.
We're sleepwalking into disaster because we are not doing enough now.
Hey, you don't need to convince me.
Is that him?
Hello, Simon.
Liz, the barrier has appeared again.
Coming soon from Big Finish Productions. Timeslip. The Age of the Death Lottery.
A bubble of time. A bubble that drifts outside of the rules of normal physics across other time phases.
What's that? I was heading for the steps when I bumped into it.
People might even find themselves caught inside one of these bubbles.
It's like a wall, an invisible wall.
A doorway in whatever barrier exists between the two.
And that sound.
Sam? Why can't we see him?
Maybe it's an optical illusion? We're in 2020.
You came through the time barrier. From what time?
We're from 1982.
The barrier has opened again.
I'm going through.
Me too.
Come on, Jade. Let's go.
Liz, we're in the year 2042.
It seems so.
Hey, I haven't done anything!
Run, Neil!
What are those?
Stun buttons. For the last time, state your numbers.
Everyone has numbers.
We don't.
If I find that hard to believe. It's the death lottery. If your number's drawn, you die.
And now, to present this exceptional 166th Death Lottery, your Minister of Enforcement.
It can't be.
What is it?
I'd like to know why it's reappeared now. The barrier being in another time phase. After so many years. We know almost nothing about it. And at times it seemed the rules for how it affected us in these other times were changeable.
Ah! Oh, my head! Oh, no! Ah! Liz!
No, wait.
Where are you taking me? Say something! Ah!
I just want to get back to 1982, where there aren't thugs in uniforms with electric truncheons.
You asked for it!
My killing!
I'm really puzzled by you lot. I've still no idea where you came from or why you had no numbers.
We're time travellers.
That's very funny.
I appreciate it sounds fantastic, but at the Ministry of Forward Development, we need open minds to do our job.
Jade!
Come back!
Well, here I go again!
Big Finish. We love stories.
That was the Tin Dog Podcast. Available on Spotify, iTunes, Acast, Stitcher, and wherever good podcasts are found. Get early access to content by subscribing to the Tin Dog Podcast YouTube channel. You can support the show at patreon.com/tindog. Contact the show on Twitter @Tin Dog Podcast or email tin-dog@hotmail.co.uk.
All of the things discussed are the intellectual property of others. No infringement is intended. The Tin Doc Podcast is a founder member of the Doctor Who Podcast Alliance.